What's up, guys? So we're going to go over Bitcoin today. Today is Monday, February 28th, 2022, 10:21 p.m. Eastern Time. So before we begin, none of this is financial advice. Please try your own risk. This is like the third take I've been doing for the video now. The first time the mic wasn't on. The second time the record button wasn't recording. So now it's bear with me. I'm just going to start rambling a bit. So in the last video I talked about for Bitcoin is that I went over the scenarios. So the first scenario that's still valid right now is the running flat scenario. So in this scenario, this is cycle 4 correction. We're in primary 1, primary 2, intermediate 1, intermediate 2, 3, 4, 5, expanded flat, 3, 4, 5 to finish 3, expanded flat, A, intermediate A, B, C, B, and then we finish C at January 22nd to finish primary 4. And then here's the evidence criteria for this. That's from last week's video. It fits the time duration. It's 112 bars. So in comparison to cycle 4, 122 bars, it's lower than that. So we're good. It's looking fine. This is a subdivision where we are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now, and then now let's say this is the bottom. Now this is a 1, and then we're either in a 2 or we are put in 2, and then we're doing 3, 4, 5. So the case where we are doing, let's say we already put in the 2, right? So subdivision would be like leading diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC 2. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would look like this. I don't think this is the case, but in regards to this count, let's just assume that we bottomed. Okay, we're just assuming for this running flat. Now this looks suspect. I will admit it looks like a 3-wave move, but let's assume we did put in a 1, 2. Then this would be ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending diagonal. And then now we're starting the impulse. So this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it needs to pierce with volume. Right now it's doing fine. It's doing okay with the volume wise. The other scenario is that this is still part of wave 2. And then this is like a flat within B, so something like that, right? I could definitely see the market makers doing this and taking up more time, and then we start impulsing up. So just be aware of that, and that's the running flat scenario. The main pivot we want to watch is 52K, no matter what, even if you think the bottom is or isn't it. If we ever get to this area, that's a big pivot. So I don't expect us to just breach on the first try. Most likely it'll do this, flag, and then go. So it's definitely an area to take profit, but more likely than not, it's gonna do that if we do get up there. So that's the running flat scenario. And then one scenario I wanted to talk about that I see a lot on Twitter is the triangle count. So this is the triangle count for BTC. To me, it's invalidated just because of the amount of time it would take. So it would, let's say we're not in D, we're inside D right now, and we have E to follow. So that right now it's already above 125 bars. It's already greater than this cycle 4 correction. And in my school of thought, I'm big on time analysis. So subwaves, this is a subwave. So primary 4, this is cycle 4, this is cycle 4. Subwaves should never take longer than the preceding higher degree wave. So in this case, it's taking longer than the cycle correction before it. So I don't like it. That's one big red flag. 2 is in a triangle, our side needs to triangulate as well, and that's not happening here because right here we broke support. In a triangle, it should follow the price action. So it should look like this. So where's my fucking, so like it should look like this. And then an example of that, let's just look at this is an example from Matic. I posted on my Discord and saw on Twitter as well. So you can see that this is a triangle clearly. RSI supporting it, A, B, C, D, E, and then into the ending diagonal. That's a valid triangle where RSI supports it. And then this is the same chart I just showed you. So this is why I think the triangle is invalidated. So we can throw that out the window. You can keep it as you want, but the way I see it, I don't count that. All right, so we went over the running flat and triangle, and then let's go over some of the other counts that I am a fan of. So if you are bullish, then this is my preferred count just because of the way it looks. The subdivision works well here. So this is primary 2, and then we finished primary 3 where November is, so the 67K, and it subdivides nicely. And then we either put we put an A down where 32K is, and now we're working on B. And with this, that means B will finish near the 618, so like 52K, and then we capitulate to 22K-ish. That's a target. So something like that. And that works well because the 22K area is where 382 is, and it's the top of the channel. We'd be retesting it, and then we'd be retesting the prior all-time highs, and then we would be filling some of the CME gaps. So it's a very good area in my opinion. I'm pretty sure it's where the 200 DMA is too for the weekly. So like the previous count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into A, and then A, B, C, B. We don't know if we already put the B in, or if we still have that flat. Remember, so it could be like that. We don't know it until it reveals itself. In my mind, I think it is in, just because the RSI broke out. So did it break out? Oh yeah, it did. So like that. So that's why I think it is in. So now we're working up, but to recap, this is my preferred bullish count, where it's gonna be, and this, so it would ideally be a zigzag, and then you can, this structure to me, I guess you can count it as a, hold on, let me just look. 1, 2, 3. I don't think it's a zigzag. I think it's more complex. I think it's A, B, C. I think it's something like that. I just think it's complex. I don't know how you want to count it, but it would alternate well if this part was a zigzag. So that's my case, and then it fits in the time better. So how long? What, 88 bars on a 3-day? So then that would give us a time frame around summer to bottom. So I'm a fan of this count. This would be my primary if I am bullish. We'll get over to my main later, and let's see what else. Oh, that's just a preview of what I think is gonna happen. This is similar. It's very similar to that count, except that this whole thing's a WXY, and then you count as like an expanded flat. The only thing that I hesitate on is that this, if it were to happen, it would be taking, it's 70 bars, so it's already taking longer than this, so I don't think that's the correct subdivision. This is 52 bars on the weekly. It would probably have to be like, it would probably have to start from here. And then it would have to end, it would already have to, oh, never mind, we have time, we have some time. It would have to end before April 11th, but I just doubt, that would happen. So I don't think that's the correct subdivision. I would just lean back to this one. So these are the primary two scenarios, in my opinion. And then now we can go over the super bear case, where we finished a super cycle. So let's just look. No, not this one. That's not it. I guess, where is it? Okay, this is one of them. We'll come back to that. This is not it either. Oh my god, there's so many. All right, let's get to it. So one of the counts I'm opening up to is that Bitcoin finished a super cycle 1, and I have it as, so this is cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4, cycle 5, and it subdivides nicely. You can see cycle 2's correction is 30 bars, cycle 4 correction is 26 bars, so that we know that it's paired, it pairs up nice. Subdivision works, and then you can also confirm the RSI. So bearish divergence here, RSI support broke here, confirming 1, and then RSI support broke here, and then we made a new low, so that confirms cycle 4. Bearish divergence between 3 and 5, so this is 3. Let's just delete it to show you better. And then there's also volume divergence, so that's a big hint, very big hint. And then there's multiple trend supports breaking. And that's kind of giving us evidence that we might have finished a cycle 5. And don't just say, oh no, you're fucking crazy, there's no way, blah 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 blah. Well, I'm just telling you what the charts say. I'm not a fundamentalist, I'm a technical analyst. So, and it subdivides really, it works really well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where the 5 is a smaller wave. And people always expect, oh no, we need a blow off top. Not every wave 5 has to be a blow off top. Just because the previous ones were, doesn't mean that wave 5 does. And usually the characteristics of wave 3s are blow off top, and wave 5 is kind of like a slower, like a rounding off, like distribution channel. That's just what I've observed in the market. Ultimate confirmation for this count, I think I have it, yeah. So here, ultimate confirmation is if we touch 13.8K, and then that would confirm we're in super cycle 2. And then for super cycle 2, you just take the fib from the bottom, or since Genesis, to the top, and then we're probably going to see sub 5-digit Bitcoin. I mean, ideally we want to see 3K hold, because if that doesn't hold, it'll get bad quick. All right, but more likely than not, it's going to be some kind of long, drawn out sideways correction. And then if we go into the time analysis, so never in the history of Bitcoin's price action has it had a monthly double top, right? It's McDonald's sign. So if we get a monthly close below, I want to say 35K, then sayonara. It's gonna do some shit like that. There's not really any support cluster until 19.5K. Oh god. But yeah. Oops. That was not. Let's go over this time analysis. I'm a huge fan of time. Jesus, why is this so like... Yeah, let's turn it down a notch. God dang. Alright, so I already did the subdivision before on this one, and now we're looking at time. So time wise, it subdivides nice. Where cycle 1, 259 bars, cycle 3, 257 bars, and then cycle 5, 358. So it correlates nicely. And then also for the bear markets, or you can say cycle 2 and cycle 4, it was 57 bars, 52 bars. So these two pair up nice. And then if we did want to assume that Bitcoin put a running flat, I mean, I guess, but it has to line up with this one. So it's kind of too long. If it's a running flat, it would have to be something like this for the running flat, which would be better, it'd be valid. But those were the main counts I wanted to expose to you guys, just so you can prepare for it. In my mind, I think price action put a 1 or A down, and that we're gonna retrace up for 2. So which we are doing right now. Well, I can't find. Okay, yeah. Where this is like a 1 down, and that's 2, and then we had 3, 4, 5, and then some kind of drawn out B. And then what kind of supports this theory for me, or the super cycle where we are in a bear market, is the stock indices. So there's a lot of fundamental factors at play. Yes, I know I'm not a fundamental analyst, but I'm just pointing out the facts that we have inflation. We need to fight it. We're rising interest rates, and then the tech sector, not just tech, but like SPY, SP 500, the Nasdaq had insane gains, and they're showing weakness right now. And if you don't acknowledge that, then you're just ignoring the technicals, right? And then you can see Bitcoin. What is this? Like it went up 67K, and people want more. Like, you had to understand that corrections happened. So not only that, it's in sync with the stock markets, like the SP 500, the Nasdaq. Companies are super overvalued, and the reason for that is because the Fed has been supporting QE, and it's been a lot easier for companies to borrow money. But instead of investing that money into R&D and innovation, all they're doing is just doing a stock buyback. So they're just inflating their prices even more. And then now we're gonna find out what their true valuation is. And the thing is, they're still overvalued. You're gonna see a lot of these SPAC stocks die. They look worse than altcoins. That's kind of funny because equity traders love to say, "Oh, crypto's too dangerous, it's volatile," and then their shit does like a negative 80%. But on top of that, we have global tensions like war, and we have the yield curve inversion starting to perk up, and then we got the VIX trying to turn up. There's a lot of scary things. The only thing that can mitigate inflation is higher interest rates and the Fed stopping support for the market. That's the only way to revert to the mean. And you can't just say Bitcoin's independent of all that. It still relies on money. People need to feel safe parking their money. And then I guess a counter indicator is that metals are turning up too, like gold and silver. So yeah, that's just some of the things I see, like my thesis of what I think is gonna happen in the future. I mean, I'm glad we have first world problems and that we're not dealing with fucking Russia. Like, I'm praying for Ukraine. They're standing their ground. Hopefully everything settles and no one else like continues to lose their lives. But it's sad to see stuff like that. So that's my thoughts on what's gonna happen. I think I covered everything. So we went over the running flat bullish scenario. We went over how the triangle is invalidated. We went over how my main scenario, or if we are bullish, where this was the primary 3 high at 68K at November. That's primary 3, and now we're in primary 4. We went over that we may have completed super cycle 1, and that we put a 1 down, and then we're working on 2, and 2 would take us to 52K at least. And then we went over why I think it's in sync with the broad markets, and how I think we're going to enter a recession / bear market. I also forgot to mention that the factors of houses are way too expensive, and it's a bubble. It's bound to pop soon. Let's see how long the video's taking. 21 minutes. I guess I'll just do some coins. Let's just look at, this is by request from some people. Also, I just don't get why, like, if you don't see something you don't agree with, then back it up with your chart, man. Like, if you're just purely talking about fundamentals, like, look at this shit. I'm trying to save some, like, the broader market money. Like, this is HTR. I tweeted January 8th that I thought it was going down to 51 cents, 33 cents. These people just say I'm crazy, you're out of mind, nah. And I said, all right, I'm glad I'll add you to the screenshot. Never speak in absolutes or get wrecked. This guy right here, add me, glad to be added. SpongeBob meme, if I could insert it. And what do you know? We dropped 78% since my tweet. HTR went to 40 cents. So let's look at it. So where are we now? So maybe this is cycle 1, and we're in cycle 2. Oops. You can count this as a 5-wave move. It looks like a diagonal, but it's not. Just because in a diagonal, diagonals can either be contracting or expanding. So if we look at this, that's wave 1, and this is the assumed wave 3. So that means it's expanding, right? That means wave 4 has to be greater than wave 2. So wave 2 is $1.34. Wave 4 is only 36 cents. So it's invalidated. It can't be either contracting or expanding. So the only case is that it's just a regular impulse. So a regular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now you can count it as a regular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we did bottom. Or you can say that we only put in a 3, and then we have 4 to follow, which is what it's working on now. And it can do some like, oh whoops, it can do something like this and then die, and then somewhere around, oh, I don't know, 19 to 20 cents, something like that, and that's where the bottom is. So that's HTR, and then someone requested CRV. It's like, come on, man. This is why you can't listen, and you got to make your own decisions. You can't just follow other Twitter accounts saying, "Oh yeah, while you're selling, I'm buying," but it does a 61% drawdown. That's not good. That's not how you're supposed to operate. All right, so let's look at what is this, Binance? Let's look at CRV. Fuck, man, there's bunny guys everywhere. Okay, can I just find one? Alright, let's look at CRV. So you guys can see how I trade too. So do my TA. So whenever I do my TA, you work from low to high to low, so higher time frames. So I like 3 month. I draw your pivots. This one there, then one here. 6 month range. Looks fine. And then basically every time there's a range, you just test lower. It's that simple. And then with CRV, if we want to assume bullishness, then this is something like that. I don't, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can maybe stretch it like that, like this. That looks kind of funky though. I don't know if that. Yeah, that's probably not. It's probably not it. It's probably this. So let's say it's that. And then let's just say you want to do retrace here. Call this, we'll just call it cycle. This primary. And then let's draw the, what do you know, it's here. It's not, we can delete, well, we can, boom, and then delete this. So I'm expecting somewhere in this box where I would think it would bottom. Let's look at the wave structure. Oh, and then also one thing you can look at. So when our size support breaks, that's a good sign to get the fuck out. Let's look at the 3-day. Now, this is if we're assuming bullishness, right? So to me, it looks like a expanded flat, something like that. 3, and then some kind of, oh my god, A, B, and some kind of something like that. And then we come down for, I don't know, looks like it's making a wedge, a falling wedge. So maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either it's doing this, A, B, C, something like that. It'll reveal itself as time comes on. So this is the bullish count, believe it or not, right? It has to look like that. The bearish count, the bear side is that what if this is an impulse and then it just goes lower? Like, would you be able to handle that? What if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is a 3-wave swing? You can call this, oh, God. I mean, it's the same, something like that, or you can call it a WXY. That probably does subdivide better. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E. So something like that, and then you just make new lows. I'm just trying to get you aware. So that's CRV and HTR. I don't think there's anything else I want to cover. It's been a long night. I need to get my I need to start studying. Actually, no, fuck that. I'm just gonna watch Rick and Morty. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video market update. Let me know if you guys are interested in my Discord. It's right here. Just send me a DM on Twitter. It's good if you want to learn TA, market analysis, or an accurate like day-to-day counts. Also, don't forget to like and sub, and Stay safe, y'all. Cheers.